Hello? Hello? Okay. Chapter 30, well, 6. Chapter 36. Chapter 26. I'm sorry. Chapter 26. A free-for-all fight. Right here. As soon as he reached the seashore, Pinocchio began to look all around over the water. But he saw nothing but the dogfish. The sea was as smooth as glass. Where is the dogfish? He asked, turning to his comrades. 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 He has gone for his breakfast, replied one of them, laughing. Or he may be taking a nap, said another, laughing still louder. From these foolish replies and the laughter, Pinocchio soon saw that he was the victim of practical joke, and he said angrily, "Where is the fun? What was the use of telling me that yarn about a dogfish? Because we wanted you to miss a day at school. Aren't you ashamed of being such a good and studying your lessons every day? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? And if I study, what difference does it make to you? It makes a big difference, because you make the rest of us cut a sorry figure with the teacher. What do you want me to do then? You must join us against our three greatest enemies: school, lessons, and teacher. But what if I prefer to study? We will have nothing more to do with you. And besides, we'll make you pay for it. The first chance we get. You make me laugh, said the puppet, shaking his head. Look out, Pinocchio. Don't you try to bully us, cried the largest of the boys, shaking his fist. Don't you come the high and mighty over us, either. We don't stand for it. We are not afraid of you. Recollect, we are 7 against 1. 7 dead ones, mocked Pinocchio. Did you hear that? He has insulted us, cried another. Take that back, Pinocchio, shouted a third, or we'll make you suffer for it. Cuckoo! Did you read, Pinocchio? But just as he said this, the biggest boy hit him on the head. The puppet came back with a blow from his wooden fist, which sent the bully staggering. But the other boys closed in, and the fight became general. Pinocchio, although alone, defended himself like a hero. His feet, being the hardest wood, served to keep his foes at a proper distance. Wherever he could land with a strong kick, the boy struck went away, howling with the black and blue spot. When the boys found they couldn't get at him for a hand-to-hand fight, they became angry and earnest, and began to look around for something to throw. As there was nothing but sand, they seized their school books and started to hurl these at the puppet. He was too quick for them, however, and ducked his head so that the books fell into the sea. Just fancy how surprised the fishes were. They thought the books were something to eat, and at once rose to bite them. But one taste of the front pages and pictures was enough. They made wry faces, as much as to say, none of that stuff for us. We are used to better fare. Meanwhile, the fight grew hotter and hotter until a large crab, who had crawled out of the water and was slowly walking up the beach, cried out with a voice like a husky trombone. Stop that growling, you rascals. Stop it at once, I say, or something bad is likely to happen. The well-meaning crab might as well have talked to the wind. Pinocchio turned upon him and said in a surly tone, Mind your business, ugly crab. You'd better eat some. Better eat some seaweed for that husky voice of yours. Go home and go to bed. Just then the boys, having thrown all their books away, happened to see a little distance the bundle of books belonging to the puppet, and laid hands on them. In less time than it takes to tell it, among these books was a good-sized volume, bound in heavy covers, on arithmetic. I leave you to guess how heavy it must have been. One of the little ruffians seized this book and threw it with all his might at Pinocchio. But instead of hitting him, it struck one of the other boys on the head. The boy fell to the ground, white as a sheet, and could only murmur, "Oh, my mamma! Help me, for I am killed." Then he lay motionless on the sand. At sight of this dreadful accident, the other boys took to their heels, and in a few minutes were out of sight, but Pinocchio remained. Although scared half out of his wits, he ran to wet his handkerchief in the sea, and with it began to bathe the temples of this poor schoolmate, all the time weeping bitterly, calling him by name and begging him to open his eyes and speak to him. But Pinocchio continued to lament and to try to revive his companion. He heard the sound of footsteps. Looking up, he saw two policemen approaching. "What are you doing here?" they asked. "Trying to help a schoolmate." "Is he hurt?" "It seems so." "I should say no," said one, stopping over the injured boy. "He has been struck in the head." "Who did it?" "Not I," stammered the puppet, hardly able to breathe. "If you didn't do it, then who did?" "Not I," repeated Pinocchio. "And what was it that struck him?" "It was this book," answered Pinocchio, picking up the heavy arithmetic. "Whose book is it?" "Mine." "That settles it. Nobody else could have done it. Get up at once and come with us." Come with us." "But I am innocent." "Come with us." Before starting, the officers hailed some fishermen who were passing not far away in a boat, and said to them, "We will entrust this little wounded boy to your care. Take him home and look after him. Tomorrow we will call again." Then turning to Pinocchio and placing him between them, they commanded in military tones, "Forward, march! And make haste, or it will be the worse for you." The puppet did not wait for a second bidding, but started at once with them along the road which led to the town. But the poor fellow was so confused, he didn't know where he was going. It all seemed like a dream, and such an ugly dream. His legs trembled, his tongue stuck to the roof of his mouth, and he couldn't utter a single word. And yet in the midst of his stupefaction, a thorn seemed to pierce him into the heart. It was the thought of passing by the good fairy's house and being seen by her as a culprit guarded by policemen. He would far rather die. By this time they had reached the edge of the town and were entering it when a sudden gust of wind blew Pinocchio's hat off and carried it back along the road they had just traversed. "Will you please let me go after my hat?" asked Pinocchio of his guards. "Go ahead, but be quick about it." The puppet ran back and recovered his hat, but instead of putting it on his head, he placed it between his teeth and began to run with all his might toward the sea. He flew as if he were shot out of a gun. The policemen saw that it would be hard to catch him again, so they set a large mastiff after him, a dog that had won first prize in all the races. Away went Pinocchio, and the mastiff close after him. All the people flocked to windows and pavement, eager to see the finish of such an exciting race. But they were disappointed, for the mastiff and Pinocchio picked up such a cloud of dust that in a few minutes they were lost to view. Okay. That's that.